Now, there's a couple of reasons in Club World Cup Fantasy why you might want to pick a differential. Number one, they'll help you climb the leaderboards if they do really well. And number two, in this game, you actually score bonus points for owning low-owned players. And in this video, I'm going to go through my favourite differentials. Okay, as I said then, there is a scouting bonus in this game. So if any of your players score more than 4 points in a game and they are fewer than 5% owned, you get an additional 2 points. I've not seen a rule like that in any other fantasy game in my life. So it's pretty cool to see the game reward you for owning differential players through bonus points. So yeah, I mean, if you have a differential who gets an assist, maybe makes 6 tackles in a game or whatever, you're going to get an extra 2 points, which is quite interesting. Now, I've done this regularly on all of the Club World Cup fantasy content I've made. Before going into the players, I've spoken about the groups because I just think fixtures, because there are so few of them in this game, right? You know, it's a tournament. There's, 3 group games and then round of 16, excuse me, quarterfinals, semi-finals and a final. Very few fixtures. So it's worth picking the team, It's worth picking the teams or players from teams that have the best fixtures. And again, I'll go back to groups I think are pretty good. I'm looking at Group A. I think Porto they got a pretty good group. I'm looking at Group D. I think Chelsea have a good group. Leon have been removed and LAFC won their playoff. So LAFC from America will go into that group. So it's Chelsea, Al Tunis, Flamengo, and LAFC. Inter Milan, I think they've got a pretty good group as well. Dortmund, they've got a pretty good group. And yeah, you can see the rest of the groups there. So that criteria of, I think, teams with good fixtures or players from teams with good fixtures plus differential, well, obviously low ownership. You know, this is a differential video. That's the kind of criteria I'm going to go through when talking about these players. The first player I wanted to talk about was Svensson from Dortmund. Now, it certainly looks like Ryerson, the other fullback from Dortmund, is really popular in the game at the moment. But I want to draw your attention to Svensson. He might be a little bit more expensive than Ryerson, but actually, I think the fact he's 3% owned, and they both play at fullback for Dortmund, I quite like the idea of picking the one that could get the extra points for getting returns. You know, if Dortmund keep a clean sheet, for example, Svensson scores 2 more points as a result of that than Ryerson does. And you got to think, you know, they're both playing at fullback for Dortmund. Comparing their numbers, there's not a whole lot of difference between the two players in terms of total attacking returns this season. Yeah, I do quite like the thought of picking this guy over Ryerson, basically. He's also on corners. So I would say, on paper at least, both playing at fullback, he actually has more opportunities to get attacking returns than Ryerson does. 12 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 2 clean sheets. If you add all that up, that's 4 plus 2, 6 fantasy football returns, clean sheets plus attacking returns in 12 games for Dortmund this season. I think that's pretty good. A return in 50% of his games. And he only signed for Dortmund in January as well. So, you know, there's only half a season's worth of stats there. 3% owned, 5.3 million. I think Svensson could be a pretty decent differential for you. And I wanted to talk about another Dortmund player next in Pascal Gross. Now, he's not had the most exciting season when you look at his numbers, right? He's played 43 games for Dortmund, scored only 1 goal, but got 11 assists, right? But in the last 3 Bundesliga games he played this season, he picked up an assist in each one for 3. And I just think he should offer you a nice balance of attacking threat and tackles. Like if he got an assist plus the tackles, you know, plus making 3 tackles in a game, that's 2 extra points. And I just think that could add up. And yeah, I really like him as an option. I know he's not done all that well this season, but I look back to his time at Brighton where he was used as, well, a goal-scoring midfielder at times. And I just look at the group that Dortmund have got, Fluminense, Ulsan and Sundowns. I just think it's a fantastic group. And I refuse to believe that, you know, despite only having 1 goal and 11 assists, he couldn't possibly score a goal against those teams, you know, with how I think they've probably got one of the stronger groups in the competition, to be honest. Yeah. I like Pascal Gross as a player. He's not done amazing in terms of goals for Dortmund this season, but I think the fixtures in this competition could help him. Now, I'm definitely not going to try and claim that Levi Colwill was the most exciting pick in this game by any stretch of the imagination, but he's done pretty well this season. I think Chelsea have had a decent season in domestic football, at least obviously won the Europa Conference League. They've got a good group of Chelsea. They've got they've got a really good group. Flamengo, Tunis, and LAFC coming in. You'd imagine Chelsea could beat all of those teams, plus potentially keep a clean sheet in all of their games. And I just know that Colwill is an absolute favourite of Enzo Maresca. He plays 90 minutes every game, except, of course, when he's injured, which happens very rarely. He's kept 13 clean sheets in 41 games this season, which is not too bad. And also, don't forget that Chelsea have played in English football, which is one of the toughest leagues in the world, right? When you look at the level of competition they've got in their group, you'd imagine maybe Flamengo is their biggest challenge in the group. Well, it definitely is their biggest challenge in the group, but even still, I think they could keep a clean sheet in that one. So yeah, it's not the most exciting pick, don't get me wrong, but a 3% owned, right? If he keeps a clean sheet in a couple of his games that you have him for, that's an extra 2 points for each clean sheet, basically. And the same applies for any other Chelsea defender you think is going to start. It's under 5 million. I think they've got good chance of keeping clean sheets. I'm thinking like Rob Sanchez and Chalobah as examples as well. I just think Chelsea have got good odds of clean sheets during each game in the group stage. Most of their defenders are relatively low owned, and particularly Colwill, just because he's going to play every game for 90 minutes. He's probably, alongside Cole Palmer and maybe Enzo Fernandez, those are the 3 Chelsea players I think you can hang your hat on to play every minute of every game. So yeah, I really like Colwill. Next up, I've got a goalkeeper for you in Marchesán of Boca Juniors. He's 4.1 million and just 1% owned in the game at the moment. And he's played the majority of games for Boca Juniors this season. Sergio Romero, the former Man United goalkeeper, I believe is their number one. Well, was intended to be their number one, but Marchesán has played a majority of the games this season. And when you look at who are the most popular goalkeepers in the game and what the template team is looking like, Armani is the most popular goalkeeper. Well, I think will end up being the most popular goalkeeper because he's cheap and he's probably going to start every game. But Marchesán is 0.1 million more expensive, so I think Armani's 4 and Marchesán's 4.1. But at 1% ownership, it means, for every 4 points he scores, there's an extra 2 on the line from the bonus points. And yeah, I really like the prospect of that because I think even though, it's a dangerous point to say who's going to fare better in the competition out of Boca Juniors and River Plate, right? But I quite like the idea of picking this guy and backing the bonus points over Armani. So yeah, I think Marchesán is a perfectly decent alternative to Armani. We want to chase the bonus points and go a bit different. Right, to finish off the video then, I've got a couple of forwards for you. Now, whilst it's nice to talk about differential forwards, I think it's quite hard. I'll admit it's quite hard to fit one in your team, and it feels very risk-takey to do so, but that's kind of part of the excitement of picking a differential, isn't it? The forwards, in my opinion, are amongst the most sort of stacked out position in terms of quality players. You've obviously got Haaland, Mbappe, Guirassy. The list is endless for good forwards in this game, right? But if you want to go differential, I think Pavlidis of Benfica is a really nice option. 7.8 million, 4% owned. He's Benfica's penalty taker. He's got a great record for Benfica this season. 26 goals and 9 assists, 35 attacking returns in 44 games for them. And also, when you look at Benfica's group, they've got Auckland City, Boca Juniors and Bayern Munich. But they play Bayern Munich in match day 3. And I would imagine most people will play their wild cards in match day 3. So I wouldn't worry. You're looking at Benfica and you're thinking, oh, they've got Bayern Munich in their group. That must be a really, they're going to have a tough time in that game. But I think most people will play a chip when that fixture actually comes around. So you're picking Pavlidis to play Boca Juniors and Auckland City, a guy that gotten 35 attacking returns from 44 games. And remember, for every attacking return this guy gets, he only gets it once. But if this guy gets an attacking return in a game, he's going to score 2 extra points at 4% owned. So yeah, I really like Pavlidis as an option. And another player I can't not talk about him is Samu. Well, I think his nickname is Samu. Forgive me, because I'm not au fait with the Portuguese league. In the game, he's known as Aguihawa, but across all of the websites where you can check his stats, he's known as Samu. So just bear that in mind. He certainly looks to be the starting centre forward for Porto. The only unfortunate thing is he's just creeped over that 5% ownership mark. He's now 6% owned in the game. So whether that has gone up, gone down, I've seen it like teeter a little bit. But he's got 25 goals this season, right, for Porto, and 3 assists. So 28 attacking returns in 39 games. He's 6% owned and 4.2 million. So I think this guy just looks incredible value. And if he somehow creeps under 5% ownership, I think, he's going to be an incredible differential too. And again, it was a similar point to what I made around the previous striker. The question is, just because there are so many good forwards in this game, is do you want to pick, cheap or go differential on your forwards, or do you just want to pick the best forwards in the game? Kane, Haaland, Mbappe, Guirassy, those kinds of absolute world-class forwards. That's the question I guess you've got to ask yourself. But I think in order to win this game, you're going to have to take some risks because, the template, the known entities, they're all probably going to do okay, and most people are going to have them. So I think 1 or 2 differentials sort of sprinkled into your team is the way that you really climb the leaderboard in this one. And maybe those 2 strikers I've just spoken about are your way to do that. All right, well, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. If you did, please leave me a like rating on the video. One thing I have noticed is I plan to make this video this weekend, and then I did the graphics. I woke up I did the graphics a couple days before I was planning to record the video, and the ownerships drastically changed. So the players I did originally have as my differentials all became non-differentials after I did the graphics. So the ownership is kind of teetering around in this game, so that is definitely one thing to monitor. But yeah, hopefully you found this useful and the players I've mentioned there sort of resonate with you. If you found any others yourself, please do let me know in the comments section. I think I'll definitely make another video on this topic before the Club World Cup begins. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like rating, subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just here on your screen if you haven't done so already. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video.